Welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Crew. And we are back after you guys saw us last night. We're here today to talk about House of the Dragon, episode 3. This new season of Game of Thrones. Of course, I'm back with the normal team, back with me again. First of all, my man, the one we finally got the guy who shot Ricky, Mr. E Money.
Yeah.
Like that. And then, it's crazy how he dressed just like this dude, though, Josh. Hold up, yeah. I'm gonna pull an image up and shit like that. But anyway, and of course, man, my Game of Thrones compadre, and Mr. Guy who has all the sounds for all y'all, my man, Mr. Josh Warren. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Yo, what up, guys? Well, let's talk about some fire and some dragons. You heard?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we came back with again that fire, new Game of Thrones. I mean, the same intro, but new stuff on there and stuff like that, which was dope. But speaking of fire, it starts the show with the crab feeder, and he doing what he do, locking all these dudes up, to the hammering them up for the crabs to kill them and stuff like that. One dude talking shit to him or whatever like that. All of a sudden, Daemon and Caraxes pull up and dude psych this shit or whatever. Start blowing fire right away. The dragon's doing his thing. Dude get killed, which is funny as hell. But then the crab feeder got a little strategy. Say every time the dragon come, I'm gonna run in the caves, stuff like that. Daemon the guy who he can get, but not in the caves. So I got to come with a new strategy. So how you feel about that first scene where Daemon pulled up with the dragon and shit?
Man, listen. First of all, I loved it. First of all, I loved how the crab feeder guy thought he was the shit, putting the crabs on the little dude. The dude. I like how dude had faith in his king, talking shit. Is his king? His prince.
Prince. He said my prince. Yeah,
my prince. Right. Had faith in his prince, even though the prince wasn't there to save you, brother. That's why you died like that. You died horrible death because he didn't even know you existed right there. He was just coming in to wreck shop, get glory. You get what I'm saying? He was chasing that. And I don't blame him. That right there, that was perfect. That was a perfect way to come in as a Targaryen at that. You coming in there, dragon blazing, you swinging on shit. Your man was cheering you on till he got stepped on. But shit, I love the scene. And the fact that the crab guy was moving like that, he was acting like a crab though. If you think about it, shit get dangerous. Let me get into the hole. Let me back up right into the hole and dip off. So he was definitely doing his thing. I don't know what's all that shit on him though. Shit look crazy.
I don't know what that is. They never really got it. I don't know if it was grayscale or what.
It didn't look like grayscale. It looked like something completely different.
It definitely did, but
yeah. Well, how you talk about that first scene, Josh? How the show started off?
Well, first, I do have to give credit to the intro. Now that I have context that it's the Targaryen bloodline. So
you didn't know that last week. Oh,
I didn't. Right, but I liked it anyway. But now that I have the context, I like it even more. I appreciate how it's essentially foreshadowing the entire saga at the same time, and also showing you the bloodlines that are important. And it's fire and blood basically. So I thought that was brilliant. And in terms of where we find Prince Daemon here, I mean, they are horrible war strategists. My goodness, how does it take you 3 years with dragons? I mean, you have dragons. I mean, Dragonstone. You got a plot board on there. You could at least do something.
Well, like the crab feeder had a plan, right? He went inside the cave or whatever.
Right, but you got to adapt, right?
Yeah.
Were you just going to stop and continue the same strategy that led to their next move? That's like doing the same chess move over and over. Who does that?
Over and over.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And it seemed like that and the Velaryons. And the Velaryons, they have no help to them either with Corlys and them like that for 3 years. But most of those wars back in the day, like we don't realize it because we see like a truncated version of them, but they normally take years. Even in recent times. I mean, the World War II was like 8 years and shit. Like the Korean War was like 5. Like they take a long time, these wars.
Oh yeah, I get that. And it reminded me of Vietnam, right? Because you had we're going to a terrain that we don't know, and we're trying a similar strategy designed for a different terrain. So it's just like at a certain point, it's like, are you just gonna using modern war terms, right? Terms. Are you just going to keep shooting a bazooka if they're going to hide in the cave? What's that going to do?
Yeah, I think
my only problem is though, with that long, skinny neck ass dragon.
Right.
Yeah.
Why the hell you ain't just drive up to the caves and let him blow in there?
I think what he did, but I guess it's fire didn't blow far enough that they rolled
The
deeper in
caves
there.
are really deep, you know.
Right,
okay.
right.
See, I don't think a lot of them should have been able to get that deep as fast as that dragon was coming.
Yo, think about the caves like the mountains and Lord of the Rings with the dwarves.
Oh yeah, that's right. Twisting and turning.
Intricate. It could be very intricate in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. Insider Club only.
Yeah.
You fine. I just want to make sure we get a chance to show Halloween costume that he got going on this year.
Yeah.
Yo, he got that same look too. Like, wow.
Yo,
Wait. Mike, do the one in the middle in the red. That's the Mandalorian. That's the Boba Fett look.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that one.
I am Boba Fett.
Terrible, yo.
Damn, E, why you out there to shoot Ricky, bro?
Allegedly, Miguel.
Allegedly, it's casualties to this shit.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. You got the snapback like bro had on. That's funny as hell. But anyway, I was about to get. Actually, I knew a dude who painted that same picture when he was holding the shotgun. I was about to get that, hang that shit up, whatever like that.
Yeah, I want that picture. That's dope.
Yeah, it was dope, yo.
That artist from Philly.
Yeah.
Nice. Yo, my boy Nasheed Linton, straight from Trenton. He got his music Her Hands.
Right.
They got that store right there. So they got a whole bunch of those artists, like imageries. Like he has like Show Nuff. He got Pops in the bathroom.
Oh wow. Oh word.
He got all that. Like check out.
Oh, he
the
nice
store.
like that.
Yeah.
Flo, what up? Yeah, he nice like that.
All right, man. Sorry for that, man, but I had to do it.
Anyway. No, it's cool.
All right. So anyway, moving on, man. So we get the first scene, and then like Josh said, it was a huge time jump in this episode, 3 years. We get back to the kingdom. We see it's the Aegon, the king's first son, his second name day, which is his birthday, which means it's been 3 years. And also, Alicent is pregnant again right now. So the king ain't doing no waste no time, knocking her up back and forth or whatever. So, that's cool. Now he getting some information from a new person on the council who's taking Corlys' spot because Corlys dipped or whatever like that. Which is one of the Lannister twins who are there, telling him like, listen, they ain't doing well at the on the Stepstones. We need your help. And the king, being this king, is like, look, man, I'm trying to have fun. My son's birthday, you know what I mean? Like, we're about to go hunting. I don't want to hear about this right now. He telling how urgent it is, but king being this king is like, nah, I don't even want to care about that right now. So then he's still yelling about where is Rhaenyra, and then we get Alicent going to get Rhaenyra, and they have kind of a power struggle where Alicent shows, well, I'm the queen, so dude, you gotta stop playing this damn guitar. You gotta leave. So, Josh, how you feeling about this first interest of the king and Rhaenyra in this episode?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is the king being the king, the peaceful king, right? The king who wants everyone to like him. And from his honest perspective, he doesn't see the relevance, and that's the privilege you have when you're king. Even to your detriment, you can do that. And it was interesting that his hand, Sir Hightower, right? He actually co-signed the strategy. Like, hey, if we join now after 3 years, it would be considered weakness.
Right.
So we're seeing his little finger element to him. So I thought that was cool. But in terms of Princess Rhaenyra, I was incredibly disappointed in her because she was a complete brat. She was going through her whole emo phase and being essentially being a jerk, right? When she should, I mean, of course she was like reading, but she should have been like all in King's Landing, like earning, endearing herself to King's Landing and all the other lords like Marjorie Tyrell did, right? You got to be like a model citizen. If you want to be heir, show that you're ready to be. You know what I mean? You gotta learn more. You should figure out innovative ways for the kingdom to generate more money. You know what I mean? Get mentored by the master of coin, do something. She was just sulking. I was just like, come on, man.
Hey, how you feeling about the first scene with the king not wanting to step into the war at first, and then Rhaenyra not wanting to celebrate her brother's birthday?
He's like, I don't know. I just hate his leadership. It sucks. Those decisions, those things hurt. They cost. And every time he tries to ignore, it's like he's not even thinking about him and saying like I'm gonna handle it later. He's trying to ignore the whole situation, like the shit don't exist.
Yeah,
that's just crazy as hell.
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine you know what I mean? Imagine your president like, yeah, man, listen. Well, they do ignore certain shit like it don't exist, but
they do. But I don't feel like they'll be like, if we had like war and any help, like,
right.
It's somebody's birthday right now. We gotta wait a couple days.
Yeah, we gotta wait a couple days because it's a holiday or somebody's birthday.
Well, we did see former President Bush do that during 9/11. They kind of had to because he was with the kids and he was reading to them. So I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Those are decisions you have to make, but a similar argument could also be met by people in the kingdom, right?
Yeah, because my thoughts. Oh, wait, let me get to E. How's your thoughts on Rhaenyra? Now she's been upset for the last 3 years.
I would be. That was
she want to come celebrate her brother.
Yeah, I wouldn't celebrate that shit. That's your little pawn to get up in here. I know what's going on. She see it. We like we said, we know she's like more on point than how he is. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't she's the one that's seen the white deer or whatever, the white goat?
Well, we'll get to that, the white stag.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So Chloe says when she was there, I think she was studying or prepping for battle. Citizen James said, I'm surprised they didn't get into more of the politics of the stepstones.
Thank you, Citizen James. Thank you. Because I'm like, yo, this
going up.
Absolutely. They should have made it more like House of Cards in that element. And I want to see Rhaenyra play that game too.
And no one saw how that was going to go. They definitely go on vacation, which goes down. So, Josh, I agree with you about Rhaenyra. Like, she don't have any real allies except for Kristen Cole right now, who's on the Kingsguard. If she wants to be the future queen, and she needs to align herself with people, even without the marriage part, still got to align herself with people. Like you said, Marjorie was like going around making sure the people loved her and stuff like that. But this Rhaenyra, she just sulks. So I feel like she should try to at least say, get somebody on her side at least. And the king, he's an indecisive king. He wants to avoid war at all costs. He's trying to have a peaceful, good time. He's so busy trying to be like Jaehaerys, who had a peaceful rule, that he's not realizing his can't be that peaceful. He got shit going on and shit like that. He got shit going on inside his house and outside his house. So I feel like he got to be himself and just rule how he should rule. You know what I'm saying? So, but next we get they are on the horse and buggy, and they're on the way to the to the hunt. And we do get more of Viserys and Rhaenyra's back and forth. This way he tell her that she's got to marry and have her own kids one day. And she says, why must I? He said, because you must, to, put the families together and stuff like that. And she don't want to marry. And, she's kind of telling him at this moment that that's not her path that she wants to be on. So, Josh, more of that. How you feeling about that situation?
She's demonstrating why she doesn't deserve to be the ruler either, to be honest.
Right. I was just thinking that.
And she's the choice by default because Daemon's a jerk. So it's not like he was the first choice.
Right.
Anyway, so a little bit more appreciation from her. But also, if you actually do want to be ruler, these are the things that you have to do. It is the custom. It is tradition. The entire kingdom is literally like a pyramid. Everything rules from the top down. So if the king ain't doing what he's supposed to do, that's when you have mayhem. That's when you have chaos in the kingdom. Right. So it is what it is. Those are the times.
Before you go, Citizen James said that goes back to what Rhaenys told her about men at court. Her power only serves to improve her marriage prospects. That's true as well. How you feeling about her not wanting to be married and saying it's not for her?
I think it's dumb. A strategic, you know what I wanted her to do? Honestly, a smart move for her would have been to go marry the black boy with the dreads with the dragon.
And we get that somebody suggested later on, which we'll get to.
Actually,
you missed that? Yeah, we get to it. I'll tell you when it happened. Something like that.
Yeah, damn. Yeah. But that to me, that's what the power move. That's a strong ass move.
Yeah, ironic used the word strong, but we'll get to it. I'll tell you why a little bit later. So, all right. So, so now they get to the what I missed also real quick was that we meet Otto's brother, who's actually is the head of their family. Otto's the second son. So just like Damon said, you don't inherit nothing as a second son. So, but Otto's brother is kind of pushing Otto to push Viserys to make Aegon the heir, stuff like that. So, and we see Otto get his ear the whole time about that. So, Josh, how are you thinking about that situation with the Hightowers there?
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, to be fair to them, even though they're conniving a bit, right? Even though they're plotting a bit, it still actually does help the realm. That chess move, that strategy, that would help the realm. So in terms of that, I get it. It makes sense. If I was in that situation, probably would do the same thing because that's in the best interest of the realm. And you have that influence, so why not?
It showed me too that even Otto's the hand and inside the Red Keep, because his brother's higher than him in the family, his brother still got power over him.
You know what that reminded me of? Sherlock Holmes and his brother Mycroft.
Okay.
I don't like Otto. I don't like him one bit.
If you don't like him, he's doing a good job acting it. That's what it's supposed to be.
Right. He just rubbed me the wrong way.
Citizen Jane said Otto is a wretch.
Right.
And she also said Daemon is volatile, but if Viserys named him, she would still have to marry. That's true. She always got to marry. She was the first.
Right.
That's a part of the damn thing. It didn't really I don't know what she thought was gonna happen and shit like that. Anyway, again, so we get this scene with, I guess we'll call them like the Real Housewives of Westeros. with these ladies all gathered talking about the war, which I don't know why they're talking about that or whatever. But then they call Rhaenyra in and like, yo, your uncle the one at war. You know what's going on out there. Maybe you know. She said, I ain't seen Daemon in years, blah, blah, blah. And then this older lady talking shit like, well, maybe you should do this and that. And she said, well, what you going to do besides sit there and eat cake? And shit like that. So I like how she came at her. So, Josh, how you feeling about her being talking to these ladies about this war?
I absolutely love it because that's how Rhaenyra should be in the kingdom. Like, listen, know your place. And she's, again, like Chloe said, she was studying, so you know about the stuff. So you got to start taking action. You can't just sulk in the Godswood. So that's why I'm like, hey, I appreciate to see that element of Rhaenyra. That's why I want to see more of her in those situations because I think she's excellent with that.
Josh, how you feel how she came with them? I mean, how you feel how she came with those ladies?
I actually liked how she checked the ladies because, again, that shows her strength, her power. That's where she's good at. So she has to start making these strategic decisions to execute it. Otherwise, she, you know what I mean? Like, she's going to be an easy victim. She got to execute this shit. If she's studying, she got to study it all. And like she said, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all just chatting and babbling and eating cake, stuff in y'all faces. Like,
I ride dragons. What do y'all do?
Right. I'm into action.
Citizen Jane said, interesting parallel with the Holmes reference. Okay, Josh, you got a fan here. I have been fascinated by the way the woman expressed power in Westeros. And then it says, to be fair, she wants to fight. Let's see. Close there. There were many shots fired episode. So many shots. Yeah. I got it. And then she said, but she is limited by gender politics, to be fair. So speaking of her next scene is that she goes outside and we see Jason Lannister, and he, comes to her trying to holler at her, basically. Said that, I mean, he didn't say her dad sent him, but she knows it. And to let her know, listen, I'll build a dragon pit in Casterly Rock. Let her know how the rock is. You can see far the eye can see. You can be my lady wife. And she ain't feeling this shit. Instantly giving back his wine and go start talking to her dad about the shit. How you feel about her introduction to Jason Lannister in that scene, Josh?
Yeah, I thought that was great. That was right on cue for Lannister, right? Keeping that hubris in the genes, right? So it's very interesting to see. And I mean, he shot his best shot. But he shot his wad, unfortunately, and that's with a dragon rider, queen, and wife. Like you got to do better than that, bro. I mean, for any other woman in Westeros, that would absolutely work, but not for this one.
Yeah, I mean, he gonna build a whole dragon pit for you. He definitely shot his best shot. How you feeling about that scene, though, bro?
He showed why their family be fucking each other instead of getting the job done and branching off, because if you know what kind of person she is, you can tell from her attitude and the way she keeps herself. You wouldn't come at her like that.
Yeah,
that was a no in the first place. So yeah, and when I heard that name, I just thought of my man with the one hand. So I know this nigga not 100 anyway.
I do want to hear what I'm saying. Lannister always pays his debts.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah,
I do want to hear that said. But yeah, I feel like he was corny from the beginning. Like you said, the way he came later on and gave the king the spear, like he just a cornball, the Jason Lannister guy and whatnot. Right. And I feel like that he like telling her about how beautiful your place is. Like I'm at the fucking Red Keep. I'm in the Iron Throne place. Like, why do I care about this rock you live on and shit like that? Like, you got to come better than that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was. But anyway, after that, Close says he thought he had it in the bag because the dad signed off already. Okay. Well, after that, she pissed. She goes in there and comes at Viserys hard like he ain't even king. And they have a back and forth that gets so loud, everybody start watching. And it takes Otto to calm it down. But before he stops, he says, "You will marry." So he's telling her that it's your duty the same way that it was mine. And she's, of course, not trying to hear it. So let me start with Edith. How you feeling that scene when they was arguing and shit?
First of all, that was bad. That made a bad look on the king. Honestly, because he ain't. I don't know why he don't be pulling these motherfuckers to the side or clearing out the room or something. Like he stayed doing some weird little shit, and that was a sign of weakness too. By the way, I'm just saying.
With your daughter coming at you like that, I agree.
Right. Yeah. Oh damn, you can't control your daughter. You the king. You can't control your daughter. You can't control the kingdom. Straight like that. So I already see. I see already. This dude's a sucker, man.
Josh, how you feeling about that public back and forth between them?
I agree with everything he said. In addition to that, I mean, it was also very disrespectful. I'm just like, wow, like you don't even respect the position. So that's like talking that way to the president and then running for president. Like you got to respect the office. If you truly value that and you want to have like, wow, why would you do that? Especially publicly, especially if that person is your father. My goodness, really?
Right.
Yes, Citizen James said that's the point. No one but the knight has tried to get to know her. So Kristen on his head, and she says, "I want to circle back to Alicent and Ray playing Big Bank, Take Little Bank in the Godswoods. That's got to come up again." Something like that.
Oh,
okay. Well, yeah, that was in the beginning when that was like we talked about at Citizen Jane, where Rhaenyra told the guitar player to stay, and Alicent said leave. And then Rhaenyra said, "I'm the princess," and Alicent said, "I'm the queen." You know what I mean? So Big Bank take Little Bank, like she said, like that. Big Joker be Little Joker if it's spades. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It says, "Have you never been around teenage girls?" I guess it's just talking to you, Josh, about her throwing a hezzy fit. I guess
when I was a teenager.
Right.
Yeah, I did hear that. I know Rhaenyra has been soaking, but I have seen things like, but you got to remember she is a teenager, and so is Alicent, really. So I guess that's a part of it as well. But I think in this world, you have to grow up fast because life expectancy only like 30 years, so you got to really grow up fast. And then first place.
By the way, Viserys, he looked very decrepit.
He does, yeah. But he's been getting, the throne's been killing him, literally. You know what I'm saying? So
took some of his fingers away.
So what is it poison on in the shit, or is it just fucking him up?
I think it's like tetanus or some shit. Me, because it's old fucking metal.
Yeah.
Be honest with you.
Right. No tetanus shots.
True. Yeah. No tetanus shots. Yeah. And they can't beat the shit, and it keeps stabbing him. Because you gotta know how to sit a certain way to avoid that shit or whatever. Because you see the one before him, he was old as hell when he died. Jaehaerys, shit like they was 90 years old, shit like that. So it depends on really who you are. Shit. So,
a good ring.
he had peace for 50 years. He was king for 50 years and was peaceful the whole time. Shit like
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, no wars. His whole
Pulled
reign.
that shit off.
Yeah, he did.
He pulled that shit. Oh, I know everybody loved living at his time.
Yeah, oh, that's the favorite time, and he had 13 kids to go with it, shit like that. So
Right, I bet everybody did. Shit,
Wow.
nothing to do with drink, sex.
So instead of Jay say his leprosy, that could be true too.
Oh,
So anyway, Rhaenyra, she runs off, and we see Kristen go behind her. That's his duty. But of course, he probably got a little thing for it too. And they wind up in the woods, and he can't leave her literally because that's his duty. So they out there talking. Meanwhile, the king, your boy Otto, and the rest of them talking about this damn stag and how the white stag, they found that. They haven't found one in so many years. But of course, Otto trying to say, on Aegon's name day, trying to again put his word in to make Aegon the heir, especially as his brother put the bug in his ear. So Josh, Rhaenyra dipping off, Kristen following her, and then the whole thing between Otto and his political play. How you feeling about that right there?
Yeah, Sir Kristen and Rhaenyra, that's going to be interesting. It reminds me of Khaleesi and her sword back in the day. That was interesting. But I feel now he's in the royal friend zone, Sir Kristen.
Okay.
For the moment, but she has dragon scales. It's like peeling in a magical onion. So it's going to take some time. And like Citizen Jane said, that's the only person trying to get to know her. So that's going to be a major relationship, kind of like Dany and Sir Jorah. So that could be very, very powerful. And then
Marmont.
Absolutely. And then for Otto and his brother, his plans, right? And trying to steer events, to showing that metaphor how even during those times is similar to these times. We have people with lobbyists and agendas and a lot of money and influence. So I thought that was very appropriate for George W.R. Martin's story. I thought that was dope, having that drama element that Game of Thrones genre is known for. So I appreciate that. And again, Otto keeps having sensible options that help the kingdom, even though if it's his own agenda, it is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, we get to his next option. E, how you feeling about her running off with the knight, Sir Kristen Cole? Well, before I get to you, Chloe says that conspiracy theory says Maester's poisoned the throne. I've heard that too, Chloe, but it's a conspiracy, so I don't know if it's valid or not, but it could be true. And then she said they're going to die by prophecy and dreams.
By the way, she's spot on, because he's a descendant of one of the Third Eye Ravens, and he's a dreamer. So there you go.
Yeah. How you feeling about Sir Kristen running off with her and how that's going?
Well, I think he's going to smashing that for
Okay.
because they be getting a little too close, and he always right there though. But I'm saying he's supposed to be, so he always keep her safe. So that was one smart thing, one move she did that was real smart and intelligent. Now, that other guy, Otto, man, always fucking politicking. Like, damn, shut up. Shit.
What he do?
It's always in somebody's ear. Like, damn, my man, like, let it go for a bit. You won. Your daughter in there, and she having multiple kids. Like, you in there. You are in there.
Yeah. By the way, the child she's pregnant with now, that's actually a girl, Helena, that'll be born next. The one that's in the belly now, in case y'all didn't know or whatever. So, but so yeah, speaking of that, so when they get back to the tent, to the camp and stuff, we get Jason popping up, and now the king is realizing maybe I shouldn't have put Jason on her, because he don't like Jason either. And Jason is, and he realized that Jason talking shit and assuming that he gonna make Aegon the heir, and King like, oh, who told you that shit? And then I can get you a whole bannerman killed for treason, like, because I named my heir and shit like that. So dude was, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking coming to saying like that.
Talking that. But.
Yeah. So I want to say this. I think that Paddy Considine, dude playing the king, he's doing a phenomenal job. I want to say where it's different. It's different emotions and shit like that. I think he's doing great, for real. I mean, he's not tough, but it's just like he's doing a good job acting. What I'm saying.
Yeah, you believe him.
Yeah,
you believe he,
yeah,
punk ass king.
And then your boy Hold on. Spoiler. I'm sorry, Chloe. Spoiler alert. It's a girl she's having. I don't know why that's not that important, honestly. Well, not at the moment, anyway. So I'm sorry. So then we get your boy Otto again. So he makes a suggestion that, like Josh was saying, he suggests, why don't you marry Rhaenyra to her brother Aegon? And then the king like, he's two. Just like that. That scene actually made me laugh. And Otto like, well, it's been done before. And the king like, look, man, enough, man. I came here to hunt, have a good time. I ain't trying to politic. Get the hell away from me. Stuff like that. So, Josh, you talked about it earlier. How you feel about Otto's suggestion and how the king, took to it at that point?
I mean, honestly, I don't think that he thought that the king would actually think that was a good idea. You can tell by his delivery. He's like, I don't believe in this. This is kind of his brother talking. And
I got you. Okay.
To me, it was the first time where Otto wasn't pulling the strings. It was someone else pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the king also sensed that, sense that vibe, sense that energy, like something is off here, away with you, get out of my presence type of thing. And then I think it'll hopefully, spark something in Otto to be, innovative, but for himself, but like from his perspective as opposed to from someone else's.
How you feeling about that proposal? Him proposing that she marry her little brother and shit like that.
Man, I was so happy he said that dumb shit because the king shut him the fuck up fast. It was just what I needed to see. Stop talking. Shut up. Now you did.
Also, if the king himself didn't want to marry a 12-year-old girl, why would he let his daughter marry a 2-year-old?
A 2-year-old, right?
Boy, something like that.
Well, well, here's the thing. See, I feel like that's fair, but if we're gonna look at it from like our modern standards,
no, I'm not. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this king in particular looks like his morals are like that. So, so I know what you're saying, Josh. In that time period, yeah, it would make sense. But this king feel like some age matters to him.
But not just the time period, specifically the Targaryens.
True.
So they're making a suggestion that actually helps the family strengthen its claim on the throne by doing that. And that's what happened.
Let me just get to some of these comments real quick. Citizen Jane, Otto is too self-serving to be helping. He a asshole. This is what I do if I had, but he doesn't, and that's a problem. She agrees, E-Money, with you.
Right.
Chloe, Silver Souls, do you think Daemon married Rhaenyra just so he might have to change on being king or close to, or will marry Rhaenyra? I guess you're trying to say. Chloe said, when. Silver Souls says, I feel for this show. They picked the best actors. Okay. Thanks, Silver Souls, for joining the chat as well. Mm-hmm. Next, after that, we get so this is Sir Lionel Strong. That's why I said it's funny you mentioned Strong. He's the master of laws. He's the one who told the king last week to marry the Valerian girl. Damn, what's her name right now? Whatever, to marry her. Now this week, 3 years later, he said, listen, I gave you this advice before, so I'm gonna do it again. And then the king is all hesitant, like, so let me guess, you want Rhaenyra to marry your son? He's like, nah. I think he should marry Sir Corlys' son, Lenore, Valerian, stuff like that. You missed that part, E? When he said that shit?
Yeah, I missed that part. I must have been rolling.
But he said, yeah, I think he should marry Lenore. It'll get Corlys back in the fold. He won't be upset no more. It'll still strengthen the two houses. Remember, he's part Targaryen because his mother's Targaryen. Rhaenys, so it makes the most sense. So I think the king took to that because bro wasn't trying to put his own son up here. He was like, I'm giving you the best advice. He should really be the hand to the king, honestly, in my opinion. But
right,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Son been spitting truth since we heard come out of his mouth. He been spitting straight facts.
But Josh, how you feeling about that suggestion and how the king took to that as well? So
yeah, I think he was very receptive to that because, to your point, everyone else hadn't given a suggestion to the king that they knew who he was, right? So it's kind of like if you're going to give some type of proposal, you should at least know your audience, know what they're receptive to, and then again, it's a win-win for everybody. So I'm just like, why wouldn't you? That to me, that made the most sense.
Hey, how you feeling
You
about it?
already know that made the most sense to me. I was thinking that before I even saw that scene.
Close, he had that dragon.
That dragon pack, right?
And instead of saying that's my guy, he is the voice of reason, Lionel Strong.
Facts.
And his son is that you're talking about is Harwin Strong, the strongest knight in the kingdom, apparently. But he wasn't trying to be self-serving, so I think that's what made the king actually think about it a little bit.
Nah,
and
he
also
really be giving the king like real.
The idea was phenomenal, so
right.
So it was like it was cool and stuff like that. All right, so next we get we get more with with Rhaenyra and Kristen. They outside, so Kristen tell his story. How he could have married a noble woman before he took his vows to be a knight. But he wanted to be a knight. Now he can't marry at all. That's like a part of being a knight, stuff like that. And she wishes she wasn't in this situation, but he told her, listen, a lot of women would kill to be in your situation as the princess, stuff like that. So she got like what do they call that? First world problem. That's what she got. She got first world problem.
Thank you.
Exactly. I'm a princess who scared I might not be the heir to the kingdom. Oh, okay. Wow. Right. So anyway, right. So anyway, though, while they're out on the fire, they do get this boar comes out of nowhere, and first of all, he chipped Kristen the first time. The boar knocked his ass like 20 feet like that.
It was no joke.
Yeah, and they came after Rhaenyra. Kristen stabs him, and then Rhaenyra lets all her anger out by killing the boar again. We talk about Edith's time. How you felt about that?
I liked it, especially the way she was stabbing that shit up. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the first Predator movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Remember when the
get the chopper?
When the guy caught the pig and he was stabbing it up. She was going in on that damn pig. All the blood was on her. I loved it. Good scene.
Shane said Chris sounds like he was laying Mac down. He was. He definitely was under that fire a little bit.
I told you.
Yeah. Josh, how you feeling about them two in the fire and the whole pig scene there, stuff like that? So, and their dialogue, of course. So.
Oh yeah, you can see how intimate their relationship is, and again, it still is in the friend zone only because of their titles and society. But you can also tell that there's also a yearning on both sides. Obviously, it's going to be probably more outwardly for Sir Kristen, and Rhaenyra has to keep herself guarded for a multitude of reasons. So the fact that they're on the road alone, I knew that this moment was going to happen. So to me, that makes sense. And I actually love the boar metaphor here from George R.R. Martin, because early in the episode, when the king requests Rhaenyra's presence on the hunt, she was like, I hate killing boars. They scream a lot like children. Mm-hmm. And in the scene, it's the children who are taking away Rhaenyra's claim to the throne. So the boar attacked her. And then that's where that rage came from, like that. So I thought that was great, and it's also a parallel for the end of the episode, but we'll get to that later.
The thing about Rhaenyra to me, only thing I don't, because she like you said, she got named heir because of the whole Daemon situation, and of course she was happy, but the only thing about her, and I like Rhaenyra, is that like, why do you want to be queen so bad? That's what I would ask her. Like, is it just because it's a possibility, or do you really want to rule this kingdom? Because she has shown me nothing that say she would be a good ruler, or that she's a good politician, or that she has any strategy and stuff like that. So I'm like, like Daenerys, even though she was not here yet, she showed us a lot over time. Same thing with John, but this girl ain't showing. It's early, obviously, but I just don't feel like she. But it's been a time jump too. It's been 4 years since the show started now for us. So I'm like, she ain't really shown me nothing yet, in my opinion. But next we get the king and his wife Alicent, and at the fire, and he's drunk. He was drinking all night, that good wine. And telling her that, he asking himself and asking her, did he make a mistake by choosing Rhaenyra? And at this point, Alicent still seems like she's not she hasn't chosen a side yet as far as putting her son on the throne. He's still cool with his choice, and he's telling her that he has these dreams, like Citizen Jane said earlier, and that he dreamed his son would be on the throne, but then we didn't have one. He figured maybe he was wrong and stuff like that, and now he's feeling like did he make a mistake or not. So Josh, how you feeling about the scene with him? I guess pouring out his soul to Alicent and about to fire it.
Yeah, I thought that was a very vulnerable moment. I kind of felt for the king because we all know Alicent has ulterior motives, as engineered by her father and possibly uncle.
Right.
So it's kind of like, is this who you want to be bearing your soul to? So again, another poor decision from the king. So again, like that, and you could tell they used to spend so much time together because she would be his pillow to cry on, essentially. But he's still crying, but there's no pillow there. So I thought that was very interesting in this episode as well. We saw Alicent with the other ladies in the realm more. So he's still feeling that vulnerability, and it all comes out. So again, I don't think that was the best thing to do. But at the same time, it was very clever. It's like it's a legitimate dilemma. Like this happened actually in real life in England, where one of the kings he didn't have a male heir yet, so he had to name this daughter as the next heir, and then later he had a son. So it's kind of like that's part of the tradition. Is your firstborn son is to be king. That's how it is. That's like in the first scenes of the book. But all right, so if it was me, I might have to do it for the round.
Let me get to the comments. Citizen Jane says, "Oh, they're going to get it in regardless of station," meaning Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole. Ray feels her heir status is a consolation prize and resents her father neglecting her. Agreed. She says Otto has told Alicent what to think. I guess that's not what to think yet. She is just so into male approval. At least Ray has her own mind, not maturity. I agree. I definitely agree. I love how they're very smart. The showrunners, like they keep in kind of like you sometimes forget about Alicent. They keep her in the background a little bit. I think it's very smart. I'm just leave it at that because I don't want to be.
I'm about to say they did that with a lot of good characters though. Even in the first seasons of Game of Thrones, they kept people gone. And then when they came back, they were like, "Oh shit! All right."
They were really, really big characters later on. That. Yeah. So I think they're doing a smart thing with Alicent because you won't see what's coming. But I'm not gonna spoil it, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Close says, "What if the firstborn son is like Uncle Daemon?" Yeah. And speaking of Uncle Daemon, the thing about it is that also, and Josh would know this. Daemon's succession line is getting pushed further and further back with every kid that he has now. Of Viserys. Yep. So,
he's like Stannis now.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So before it was between my brother and my daughter. Now it's like, well, now you even further back, bro. Like you get a line. Like Daemon got to chill on that. Yeah. But anyway, they do go to get this damn stag. And it's not a white stag they find, but it's a big old stag. And the king almost reluctantly and sloppily kills the stag. Takes him two stabs. Not the stag is now in pain that is killing him at one thrust. And what I tell you about the king? Watching that there.
That right there was awful, man. Seeing him trying to kill that animal was like it was painful to watch because it was like, bro, you're the king. You was not only supposed to know where to stab that shit. You supposed to stab that shit so hard. The fear of God should have been in everybody's face. Like, oh, he should have looked like her stabbing the pig.
Yeah,
straight up. That was some weird lame shit. Again, I like how they just keep showing us how lame he is. Shit, if I was in them times, I'd have took the damn kingdom too.
Josh, what that scene symbolize for you, showing the king trying to stab the stag?
Weak.
Yo, I gotta agree with everything he said. Kind of like how we have the term "lame duck president." He's a lame duck king, but his heir ain't even here yet. You know what I mean? Like lame duck president, you're on your way out. It's guaranteed, but like you have decades left. Well, maybe right. Probably at this age, probably not. But he looked feeble. So as he said, you should have been. Yo, I would have chucked it from distance, like bang.
Right.
Some flair, something.
Yes.
People came out to celebrate, right? This is the namesake day.
That's what you wanted. Remember, no politicking. You want to kill this to celebrate. So why the fuck? Like that shit was crazy.
Absolutely. And I thought it was interesting that again it was the Lannister spear from offered from Jason. I thought that was interesting, and it was great foreshadowing for Robert Baratheon stuff. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah,
by the hand of the Lannisters. Yeah.
Citizen Jane says she's such a symbol of femininity that Ray's mother was telling her about. She's the personification of a female duty. And then she said the stag kill shows that Viserys has no heart or mind for battle. He's like a baby boy getting his bike back, sick in the face. I agree. It was not. And you know what's bad about it is like, I feel like he didn't want to do the shit, but he had to because all the other people were there watching him and shit like that.
Right.
So it's
I agree with that. And I'll be completely honest. I was actually concerned that the stag would retaliate because he was bucking. So I was like, oh, the king got chipped here. But he had no defense.
Yo, if the king got chipped there, man.
I thought that too, though. I thought the king was about to get bucked. I thought he was about to get popped on.
Well, speaking of this elusive white stag, Rhaenyra is the one who actually sees it and tells Kristen to let it go. And I guess supposed to symbolize she should be the rightful person on the throne in the show's symbolism, in my opinion. But is that what you were seeing there, Josh, too, as well, when you saw that part?
Oh, absolutely. And it also showed her, I feel like she realized that in that moment about the patience. And also taking action. You have to balance it to be a king, to be a ruler. You need to be patient, but at the same time, you do need brutal force. Because I feel like out of everyone living right now, she would be the best blend of both. Daemon's all the way over on the other side, polarizing. The brother and the father's too weak. We see that. So she would be, for me, be right in the middle. But she also has to not only seize the opportunity, but also act like she won it. Like be grateful to be in the position that you're in to make history.
And she says, you don't want that stag smoke. They got hands. She's right. She's right about that. She saw the white stag. What you thought about that, bro?
That, like he said, the symbolism. When I saw the white stag, the first thing I thought was, I thought she was going to kill it at least so she could bring it back on her own and be like, yeah, not only did I kill a boar, but I killed the white stag too. I'm the rightful person, but it didn't go like that. It went a different way. But I respected it. They let it go. She saw it. She should really be the one running shit because she probably has the mind for it and the heart. But I don't know. We'll see.
So, but we do see her coming back to camp, all bloody, kind of tough looking after killing that boar. Yeah, everybody looking at. We see this. We see the factions. We see the Lannisters together. We see the Strongs together, and as she walks towards, of course, her family with the High Towers, the Targaryens, and everybody's staring at her. I guess at this point, making their own mind up. Then I'm gonna fast forward. We get back to the kingdom, and we get Alicent and Otto. Otto comes in there, telling her basically what he's been telling everybody the whole episode, that Aegon should be king. But he also tells Alicent, look, it's going to be a hard road to get there, but Aegon will be king at the end of the day. And you need to tell Viserys what needs to happen. So, Josh, how you feeling about that scene there? Otto and Alicent.
Yeah, there was the conversations of the puppets and puppet masters. Again, so it's just, pulling the strings.
I think it was like, to me, shit rolls downhill. I think it was the brother to Otto, so Otto brought it to Alicent. You know what I mean?
Chain of command. Absolutely.
Right.
Chain of command. Right.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. So it's like, all right. And I think Otto made a couple of attempts on his own. I said, I can't do it, so let me tell her to do it. Maybe, she got the king's ear better than I do a little bit. So, because I do feel like Otto feels like if I don't get this done, his brother gonna come at him a little bit. So, but anyway, Alicent does go to talk to the king. Now, Alicent, this was a smart scene for her a little bit too, for me, because they get the scroll from the Raven sent by Vaemon Valerion, Corlys' brother, that they need help. It's been 3 years. They almost out of food. They're losing the war. They need the crown's help. And of course, Viserys is like, I ain't helping them at all at first, whatever like that. And Alicent is like, listen, I know you don't like your brother, but what's better, the crab feeder or your brother? So what you gonna do? And he decides to send them help. So E, how you feeling about that scene on that situation?
It was straight. Now, wait, who was the brother that said the crab shit? Which
Who
brother
sent the
was that?
letter? That was the
Yeah,
black dude. That was Corliss' brother, Vayman.
the one that
Or
was out of pocket, right?
yeah,
Popping mad
yeah,
shit. What's
yeah.
up with him, man? Like, what's his problem? Because he was giving off kind of crazy energy, like mutiny energy.
I don't think he likes the. I mean, it's also it's a brother syndrome, right? His brother's the head of the whole family. He's not. So it's, brothers are always going to have that battle in these times or whatever like that because one's in charge, one is not. Like if you're the second son, that's it for you. You know what I mean? Really, like that. So,
True. Especially if the kids. Yeah, you're right. That
yeah.
pushes you back, just like I just noticed with the Targaryen brother.
Damon,
You're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Josh, they fun about Allison telling him that what's best for the realm is to get rid of the crab feeder instead of focusing on not trying to help out your brother and Corliss.
Yeah, I thought that was very empathetic advice. I feel like that's one of the ways that she influenced him previously. So again, the puppet has become the puppet master in this instance.
Yeah.
Right.
Citizen James said Otto keeps setting his daughter out. I don't think he likes her as much as he finds her useful.
Right. Fuck. That's why I don't like him, man.
Nobody likes Otto, whatever like that. Oh man. But yeah, she gets him to help the Sea Snake, Corliss. I love the Sea Snake's nickname, the Sea Snake, and Corliss and them stuff like that. Before that though, he has another heart-to-heart with Rhaenyra. And he winds up telling her, giving some more advice from Allison by telling her, you have to marry. It is your duty, but I'm going to let you pick him. I'm not going to pick him for you. And he said, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I didn't marry who I should have married. I married, the person I like more or whatever like that. So at that point, she actually smiled and said, I understand. But he does say that she still has to marry. So Josh, how you feel about the heart-to-heart between Viserys and Rhaenyra?
Yeah, I feel like they should have had that conversation earlier, before,
like years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, especially since in the last episode, which was 3 years ago,
right.
he talked about how he's still mourning the queen. Like, you're supposed to have that conversation there.
Right.
You're supposed to build on that. That's supposed to be a platform. So I was just like, yo, come on.
He's not good at anything.
And this is what makes the Targaryens so dangerous. They're having their emotional issues, not even communicating. Look what Daemon is doing. And it's so dangerous for the rest of the Westeros.
Citizen Jane, they didn't go into the history with the crab feeder. They used him to manage things, and then he got out of line, preventing the brother from building his fortune. Yeah, Citizen Jane, that's some book material she's speaking. I think it's because there's so much to cover in this Dance of Dragons. I think that's why you see so many time jumps and stuff like that, because it's just a lot. Like the more, and I'm actually reading more about separate characters now. Like I didn't even realize as much as it actually is. So it's a lot. I think people are gonna complain a little bit about the time jumps, but it really does have to happen to get because if they didn't do time jump, they can go 15 seasons. I was watching shit like that. And,
Damn.
And I'll see that. Yeah, bro. Because you gotta understand. Well, let's think about this for a second, right? Game of Thrones, right? The original. It's only like 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Think about it, because Bran was like 12, then he's like 18, right? So it's only like 6 years, the whole fucking show. Like this shit lasts like 30 years. This whole thing, like 3 decades of time. So they got to do time jumps. Right? You know what I'm saying? So they got to do time jumps. So it ain't gonna make no sense at all.
You know what? I don't mind them at all. I like them a lot. To me, it helps with the pacing of what's actually happening. So the way I see it, if nothing's happening in between those time jumps, we would probably complain about it anyway.
I agree. And because like you were talking about Viserys still got at least another decade, if not more, to live. Like he ain't dead like next week, shit like that. Got a lot of time left. Whatever. So
okay.
Yeah. He definitely got time. So yeah, but they do that conversation. I think that she actually does, she agrees to that, she's happy they're gonna help out Daemon. And that she agrees that she has to get married. Let me get to the comments real quick. She says, "No, I was just addressing the question of why his brother was aggressive." Oh, talking about Vayman. Okay, gotcha, Citizen Jane, on there, stuff like that. So speaking of that, we go back to that finally, and we see that they've been losing for 3 years. Vayman is arguing, like he said, with Corliss. Now we got Lenore, the nephew, coming in. They said they've been hitting them with the dragons back and forth, but it ain't working. They almost had a ship. The ships won't get there for help until another few weeks. They almost had a food. They're losing, but they come with this plan to say, let's sacrifice, but use like a pawn to lure them out. And everybody like, who? And they all say Damon. Shit, fuck it. Why not him? All the black people like, yo, get that white boy to go. Shit like that. Wait on that. Whatever. So,
Hey, get that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. get his ass to do it.
You got it, bro.
We right here for you.
Yo.
But anyway, meantime, though, when Damon gets back off the dragon, he does get the Raven, or actually the message from the messenger from King's Landing, which says that he will. It was kind of a nice message, but it told the king basically, "I'm gonna come save your ass from what you did." They was not feeling that shit and beats his ass. The messenger, shit like that.
Yo, don't kill the messenger. Come on.
Literally.
You brought this message. I'm gonna whoop your ass. I know you read it. I know you read it before you brought it to me.
Right.
You know what? That's the energy that killed Ricky, man.
Ricky! but he was a good shot, though. They couldn't say Ricky, though. But anyway, Josh, before I get to this intense battle, how you feel about meeting, seeing Corliss's brother, the nephew? I mean, Corliss's son, I should say, and then their strategy, and then the message with at that part. Josh, how you feel about that?
It was interesting to see their dynamic. I like how Corliss checked them because, you're not going to be talking to mutiny here. We're not doing that, especially in terms of Valyria. Our bloodline, we ain't doing that either. So I don't know. As he said, I don't know what's wrong with him for even to be thinking like that. That doesn't make any sense. But for me, this was especially embarrassing for Damon because not only are you the second son, you have the infant son heir growing every day. It's the second name day. And you're literally demonstrating another reason why you shouldn't be king because you went off to have this glory. It's like he was like an unworthy Thor who can never go home, mixed with a Loki who had a terrible strategy. It was awful. What are you doing?
Yeah. And crazy because I thought the king poured his heart out in that letter, but all Damon saw was, "I'm coming to save your ass again," basically.
Right. Nigga said, "Fuck." He said, "Fuck that! I'm going suicide mission."
How you felt about the brothers arguing to the mutiny, and then the messenger getting his ass beat there?
Right. Nah, see, the messenger deserved every bit of that. I was like, yeah, because that show, like I said, that show son ain't playing. He ain't nothing to play with, so I don't even know how people try to play with him. And then the brother doing all that weak shit in front of everybody, that was some sucker shit. You know what he should have did? He should have slapped him in his mouth and made it, you know what I mean? I'd have slapped him in his mouth. Now walk off.
Like Denzel did as Frank Lucas, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yo, don't forget who runs this family at the end of the day. I feel like you getting a little out of pocket a little bit, bro. I understand you hungry, you tired, but listen, you signed up for this shit. It is what it is.
And the whole war was for your lands. That's what I'm like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, for Driftmark. Yeah, it was. You're right. Damon, also about Damon, he never said a word. He read that shit and just started teeing off. That's what I like about Damon.
Yeah.
Too. Matt Smith is acting without even talking. It's so good, the way he's doing this shit. But after that, like he said, he going on a suicide mission. And it really was that. I seen after the show stuff. Anyway, listen, he was. Either I'm gonna kill him, or I'm gonna go out dying. But I ain't let my brother save me. Basically, at the end of the day,
I go out on my shield.
Right, I go out on my shield. Something like that. So he goes over there, and got the little plan to wave the white flag. They buy it. They come out. He gonna hand them Dark Sister his sword, and then all of a sudden start shipping them and running and shipping them and running and shipping them and stuff like that. And then, dipping, dodging these arrows. He killed at least 15 of them, I want to say. At least.
Yes.
Whatever. And
Shit,
then maybe more. Yeah, you're right.
At least 30.
Yeah. But and then of course he finally gets hit by a couple arrows. And then the craft eater thinks he's good, so he sends all his people out there, and then he gets saved, Damon, by Lenore and a new dragon in the show now. Sea Smoke is the dragon's name. Yeah, Sea Smoke. Yeah, me too, because he's from the sea snake. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So he's with Dracarys too. You know what I mean? So it was pretty dope and shit like that. I love seeing more riders in this House of the Dragon, shit like that.
Yeah, it's fire.
It is fire. But anyway, at the end of the day, they allow the troops to come, take them out. Daemon goes and takes out the crab feeder, brings half of his body. So, this whole battle, man. How you like that battle, man?
Man, I love the battle. I wish I'd have seen a little bit more with the crab feeder and him.
Yeah, me too.
But I love the battle. The boy's a beast, man.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? He can fight. He looked like Cap out there. Like, straight up. My boy was out there swinging, rolling, ducking. Dodging arrows, getting hit.
He was running fast as hell too, by the way.
Yo, fast as hell.
Yeah, he was.
Got hit and still kicked ass. Like, refused for his punk ass brother's savior. Right. If your brother already being a punk ass bitch, how you gonna be saved by a punk ass bitch? So yeah, of course you got to do he had to do it. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, and I believe that he could chop him in half because that's Valerian still.
Yeah, Valerian still.
That's Dark Sister. That sort of don't play. But Josh,
half his body.
Josh, how you feeling about the battle and how the whole thing went down the sequence and the dragon? Oh, you talking about the dragon?
Oh yeah, that dragon. Yo, that one took me off guard because that was
the white jaw.
Yeah, that was a new dragon.
Yeah,
it took me right off guard. But yo, he ripped it. Burnt all of them. Let's go.
Yeah.
They unbeatable.
How you feeling? Josh, how you feeling about the whole sequence there?
Yeah, Sea Smoke was fantastic. You can see why he got his name because he was actually able to hide in the cloud, Nope style. You feel me? No spoilers. I thought that was fantastic. And again, you could tell tactically what Daemon was doing. So I'm like, where was all this strategy the past 3 years?
They didn't have I guess they ain't had.
They just came out with it though. Like Lenore.
That's what it took you 3 years to come up with that. Come on, man.
I feel you.
But all right, but again, I have to give Daemon immense credit because he needed to do this because he's always been the flashy person who didn't deserve it. It's like having like a black belt because you know somebody without actually earning the black belt. So I can tell immediately by the sequence how much better he became as a fighter over those 3 years. So I gave him that respect.
He stepped it up.
And then the fact that he was teasing the king to get a provocation, but then he got the worst one ever by getting the letter like I'm gonna come help save your ass, as Mike said. So for that, I feel like that pushed him over the edge to have that bloodlust and to have that like the willingness to sacrifice everything. He didn't have his fancy armor on. He went in there like Jon Snow would. Yeah,
he did. There was a Jon Snow type thing. You're right. Actually, yeah, I thought it was great. I like seeing another dragon. I like seeing a dude, a black dude, dragon rider, Sandra Dracarys. I thought that was pretty dope as well. We just starting to see that the third one we've seen now, and we just see like how many they actually had as like a group and stuff like that. And Daemon's fighting was phenomenal. Like I'm watching it now. Like he just was like the battle sequence was excellent, and it's just light. Like it's so many more battles to come, and it was light. But I thought it was dope, stuff like that. And the fact that they actually won the war at the end was pretty good too. And like I said, bringing the body out, I thought was symbolizing like, okay, I handle my business, stuff like that. Because he, when the crab feeder tried to run him back in the cave, Daemon the one that followed him and shit like that. So.
And now he has his glory story from war, so that'll build his legend.
Yeah. I followed him into the deep caves where I chopped him in half. Another.
All right, so that was the episode, fellas. So again, it was over. How would you rate the episode, Josh? Let me start with you this time, bro.
I'm gonna have to give it a 9.
Woo! I was just about to say that
because of the action, the plot. It's Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? They delivered in this one, and for me, this is my favorite one so far. And so the whole symbolism and the parallel between Daemon and Rhaenyra and what they're going through and how they are essentially baptized by blood in this episode, because Daemon is the second son, which is like the worst place to be. The more sons you have, the less claim to the throne you have. And then then you have the infant was a nephew heir, which is even a worse claim. So they were like literally out for blood. We already know Rhaenyra, what she's going through. So I love this one. Definitely a 9.
All right. And E, how would you rate it? 1 through 10.
Definitely a 9. Definitely 9 on the dragon usage, on getting rid of the bad guy, on fight scenes, on all the good, fantastic bullshit, and that sorry ass king exposing his ass. So yeah, it gets a 9 for me.
It gets a 9 from me too, man. Phenomenal acting. Even from the sorry ass king, like I said before, Damon acting without saying any words in this episode, I thought was phenomenal. Matt Smith, yeah. Rhaenyra, of course, did her thing. The dragon started the show, and they ended the show with a different dragon. So I thought that was cool too to bring out a new dragon and dragon rider, and all the politicking. That's the best part about Game of Thrones. All the politicking and who's going for the Iron Throne and whatnot. Like, I think that when you see this show, like, I kind of see why Daenerys burned the throne down, because it's always about the throne. So I'm like, I'm tired of this fucking throne and shit like that. So I see that at the end, but that's later on, obviously. But yeah, I'm loving this, man. It's just as good so far to me. So, but thank you guys for coming on. Of course, thank you, Chloe, for your comments. Citizen Jane. The other person was Soul something, right?
We appreciate y'all.
Word, you guys are amazing. Silver Soul, right?
Silver Soul, yeah, Silver Soul.
Oh, Big Mike, do you mind if I ask you guys what you think about Miguel Sapochnik, the showrunner, stepping down?
At first, when I heard it, I was like, yo, that's bad, because remember he did Battle of the Bastards, a bunch of episodes from Game of Thrones. Yeah. However, he's a co-showrunner, so the other guy's staying, and then the guy who pretty much directed season 2 of Game of Thrones is coming on to help him. Nice. So I think it won't be as bad. Now, where Sapochnik is going to be missed is the battles, because that's where he shines at. So,
okay.
Well, here's the thing. So I feel like perhaps he did that so he can come direct later for those scenes. But also, I mean, the way I see it, season 1 is already wrapped. They already edited it.
Yeah, it's been done. Yeah.
So it's not like he's not having his input on the rest of the season. That's why another reason why I'm okay with it as well.
And also, thank you, Citizen Jane. Hopefully, see you again next week. Appreciate it. I'm going to end the show, Josh, and get to your point after that. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you all next week. Peace. So, Josh.